You can hear me okay?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound really good, actually.
Oh, nice. I'm just doing the same thing. I don't have my microphone,
Oh, well,
which we realized doesn't do anything.
yeah, we realized it made it worse. Um, yeah, so today I drove down from Tennessee, Nashville, down to Atlanta. So that's about a 4 hour drive
Wow.
and a 1 hour time zone change.
Oh,
It's like one of those weird things where it's like Georgia, Atlanta is like right on the border of the time zone.
yeah.
So you can kind of crisscross it pretty quickly.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I drove down and I was like, oh, I'm going to drive down. I'm going to take an hour nap. I'm going to do my notes and then we'll be recording by 6. And it's 6:43 right now. So that didn't
Yeah.
work out for me as well as I wanted.
Honestly, that's pretty close considering you just traveled in from another state. Like I was kind of thinking, like that sounded like a lot for one day. So honestly, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty good. If I didn't take the nap, then I think I would have done really well. I would have been right on time, but I had to take a nap. I was so tired.
Yeah. What time did you guys leave today?
So we went up to Nashville. Andrew, for his birthday, we went to the Indy 500, which is like a car racing thing.
Cool.
And we had like weekend passes or whatnot. And the race is this morning, but I actually didn't want to go to the race
You
because
didn't?
no, because it's 90 degrees outside.
Oh
It
my
rained all
God.
weekend, so it's so humid. And then it's really loud and there's crowds. And like that's like the intersection of everything I don't like.
And you're watching cars go around in a circle for hours.
So that's NASCAR.
Oh, what's this?
So this is a similar type of thing.
They have
It's
like a track.
professional. It's a track. It's a long track. So you only get to see them for like half a second each lap. And they do like 100 laps.
Oh my gosh.
So you see them for like 1 second at a time. And then the rest are on TV.
That's so strange. I was telling Josh that you guys went to go see like some like car. I thought it was F1 or whatever, but like something like that. And Josh was,
Yeah.
that's a really interesting sport to be into. And I was like, yeah, it kind of reminds me of like the 21st century version of horseback riding, where like
Yes.
it's like the car and
Yes.
the horse are really doing the impressive thing. The driver's also very impressive. It's very hard to do, but it's still, I don't know. It's just an
I
interesting
know.
sport.
And we got these like crazy passes that gave us VIP to all these things. And so it's like you go into the VIP place and they're like, this is the car. And Andrew and all his friends are like, ooh, ah. And I'm looking at it. I'm just like, it's just a really ugly looking vehicle with like neon colors.
A terrible purchase.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing though is that our passes or whatever, they gave us these quote unquote fast passes to some of the restaurants and bars in
Oh,
downtown. And one of the girls in our group, she wanted to go to like the most quintessential Nashville honky tonk type of thing. So I'm gonna read the name. I didn't have this prepared, so I have to Google it.
I'm so
But it's
excited.
by Kid Rock's Honky Tonk. Do you know who Kid Rock is?
Kid Rock, maybe.
I'm kind of in the same place. He's like a popular musician
Oh,
and
okay.
he's known for just kind of doing things his own way.
Okay.
So his quintessential honky tonk bar, it's called Kid Rock's Big Ass Honky Tonk Rock and Roll Steakhouse.
He just wanted to get it all in there.
Yeah,
Very
he's like,
clear.
yeah, he's like, we're all of it. Anything you want, we're it. So we went there and they had really good live music, but I mean, it was sardines packed. There was a line out the door down the road of all these people. And we had these fast passes, and they said that the fast passes would let us cut the line. So we go up to the bouncer and we're like, we have this little fast pass. And he's like, all right, you guys can come in. And everyone in the line, like all the way down, sees us. And it's like, we're just the most regular Joe Schmoes that you've ever seen. And they're probably wondering, like, who's this famous person? What did they do? They look like a nobody, which they'd be right. And then you get in.
What?
So that was really cool. Yeah.
That is pretty cool.
But once I got in, I wanted to get out because it was just packed with people. And we got 6 Bud Lights and it was like $70.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
That's devastating.
I know. So looking back, if I could do it over, I would just have left the bar and then cut the line again because that was the best part.
Just keep doing that, not ordering anything.
just keep going through, being like, I have a fast pass. Every 10 minutes, I come back in. So that's it. That's my fun story.
Wow. Well, what an exciting time. Glad you made it back.
I know. Well, I left you with 60 seconds, so go ahead. Use your 1 minute for your fun story.
Okay. Well, okay. So I was talking with mom today and we had a conversation. I was like, I bet Candy would enjoy this. So our niece is in Scotland for the World BMX tournament race, whatever. She's super cool. She's 8. And she was at our parents' house and they were doing like arts and crafts and she was painting this seashell. My mom was like, oh, you should put something on it, like an encouraging word, so that if you get scared or nervous at Worlds, like, it'll give you hope and like comfort or whatever. And and so Remy made this thing, but mom had started the story by saying, oh, remember that seashell Remy wrote her name on? I thought the story was going to be that Remy's word that inspires her was her name. And I was like, what a power move by an 8-year-old.
She has the cool factor. I could see her doing that. 100%.
I could too. It turns out though, she didn't write her name. She wrote Mama, which is so sweet.
Oh, I thought you were going to say she wrote my name.
I don't know how to spell your name.
Oh.
Your options are her name and Mama.
Oh, that's sweet.
Isn't that sweet? I know. So it was a good story. But at first I thought, oh my gosh, she wrote her own name.
So Remy just got a phone for some reason. I don't know why. I think she's the only niece that has one. But she's been texting me.
Really? I love texts. What did she say? She hasn't been texting me.
That's what mom said, because I told her. And mom's like, well, she's not texting me. And I just spent the whole week with her and did all these cool things. And I was like, I don't know. But
mom said
anyway,
they only made you crafts because you don't give them attention. But they, in fact, I have this butterfly from JoJo.
So they gave you tributes, but in terms of the amount of investment we've each made, you should have gotten 10 times the gifts I've gotten.
I agree.
But I got more gifts than you. And they were wrapped.
They were wrapped.
I was telling Andrew, I was like, sometimes you got to play a little hard to get. And then Andrew said, he's like, Candice, you're very hot and cold with them. It's actually abusive. And I was like, oh. So I need to think about
that. But you got your wrapped gifts.
That's true. At the cost of what? Some small child's mind. Whatever. It's fine.
Nothing. I have a painted butterfly now.
Yeah. I have their little painted things up on my shelves of knickknacks.
Oh, cute. They made it.
Yeah. So.
Yay. Well, speaking of abusive, hot and cold. Marathon?
I think so.
What a lead-in.
I know. Okay, so we are starting on chapter 21.
Yes. Okay, other fun story. Candy, when we were talking about what chapter we're going to, Candy said part 3, and I said okay without looking at the book. Then I realized part 3 was chapter like 56, and I was like, my gosh, what does she think we're gonna do today? And so then I started reading, and then I found out part 2 was pretty close. And so then I realized it was part 2. So we read all the way up to part 2. We're starting on chapter 21. And historically, based on our historical podcasts, we will get to chapter 23.
Yes. Yes. And some of these chapters are pretty meaty. Some of them start going a little faster.
That's true. That's true. So we might get all the way to part 2.
We will see.
We will see.
So do you want to give a quick summary on chapter 21?
Yes. Okay. So another new update. I started writing a summary with all my notes because before I was just floundering.
It.
So my summary for chapter 21. All right. So this is from Harathan's perspective. And there's 3 main parts in this chapter. So it starts off with Harathan in the temple, and he's trying to figure out like who should his head Arteth be so he can take care of temple things. But he finds out that Dilaf has been scheming over there right under his nose, and he had no idea. So he has to figure out how to do things with Dilaf. So that's like part 1 of the chapter. And then there's like this little interlude part where Harathan is like stressed with Dilaf things. So he's going to go to a stinking spot at the Wall of Elantris. But on the way, he meets this beggar who, I don't know, could be totally insignificant, but also maybe is the crucial part to the whole story. Unclear. So he meets a beggar. And then part 3 of the chapter is he makes it to the Wall of Elantris, and he's there thinking. And then who comes in but our favorite guy, Omin, who is the Karathi priest. And whose name sounds like either a good or bad omen. He's our little prophet guy. And then he goes and like drops some truth bombs on Harathan and then walks away in his little trance. And it just leaves Harathan there. And that's it.
Yeah, that priest, he's like, when he's on, he's on. And when he's off, he's out there, is how it seems. Unless he's just giving off the vibe that he's clueless and he's actually cognizant always.
Omin is my new favorite character, I think. He's pretty cool. I like him.
Did the sacrifice really turn you off from Dilaf?
That was a lot from Dilaf. But you know, Dilaf is still up there. But that was a bit much, even from him.
He's quite crafty.
He is. He becomes even craftier. We're gonna see.
Yes. Yeah. So that was my first point. I mean, the summary was really good. But basically, Harathan's trying to find a new head priest, and then he finds out, because how this religion works, it's basically like a Ponzi scheme. Everyone who you claim listens to you, and then everyone they claim, it goes down the pyramid.
Yeah.
And Harathan realized he was so busy trying to thwart Serene and Elantris and this and that, Dilaf had made everyone part of his pyramid.
Yeah, so Harathan calls up this guy, and he's like, hey, you've been doing such a good job. I'm going to make you head Artith. And then the guy was like, I cannot. And Harathan was like, that's not possible. Like, you have to. And anyways, basically, he finds out that Dilaf, he says that Dilaf has 30 ODIVs, which is like the got people under him in his pyramid scheme. And he says that those people have 1 or 2, maybe 10. And then Dilaf has 30.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's everyone.
It's everybody.
So what do you think about that?
Well, okay, so I thought that Dilaf was kind of like a little flat of a character, like kind of just there for like some plot points or whatever, and was kind of just like overtaken by anger at the Elantrians, and that was kind of like all there was to him, like kind of very faithful or whatever, I guess you could say, and like is going to do what he's told, but like that's just kind of it. But now we're seeing he has some dimensions there. He's got his own scheme going on. And I don't know. He wants, I guess, I don't know, he wants to take over. He's trying to overthrow Harathan, do things his own way.
So do you think he's trying to get people to convert the city? I guess the question is, do you think Hrathen and Dilaf have aligned motives?
Right. Like the same goal, but are just going to go about it
Mm-hmm.
different ways.
Mm-hmm.
No, I feel like Dilaf is up to something else.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. I think, okay, what if Hrathen has been told that Jadith is coming back on tax day, but actually that's all a ruse to throw Hrathen off or something. But Dilaf knows the truth that he's coming on, I don't know, Labor Day or something.
Sooner. And Dilaf's like, I can't tell you the truth. I need to just circumvent everything you're doing without telling you.
Maybe, I don't know. I think Dilaf knows some things that Hrathen doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And because it comes up, I forget if it comes up in this chapter or later, but Dilaf mentions things, and Hrathen is like, "How did you know that? Oh, how did Dilaf know that they had until tax day?" That came
Yeah.
up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so Dilaf has some other information. I don't know. I don't know.
It's interesting because how could Dilaf have more information than Hrathen? Because in the pyramid, Hrathen goes straight up to the top. Like there's the tip of the pyramid, that's the Jorn, and then it's Hrathen and whoever else the Jorn has in his circle, which is what we know at this point, not Dilaf.
Right. Well, okay, but Hrathen had to convert his last city, and was he successful? I mean, a lot of people died. Like it was a massacre.
They took it over, but it sounds like there's not much of a town left.
Yeah. So I could also see that they're like, all right, sure, Hrathen, you go over there. But I mean, it's kind of a greasy pyramid. Like they're not great people all around. So I could see that someone ahead or like on ahead of Hrathen is, kind of secretly recruits Dilaf to do some things. I don't know.
Okay, so there might be some inner turmoil in the pyramid.
Could be.
Okay. I think that makes sense.
Or Dilaf is trying to start his own thing and he's just overthrowing everything.
Yeah, Dilaf's like, we're going to make a fourth religion now.
Yeah. They're going to be
We're unified by hate.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I could see that too. That was all I had for that first part.
Yeah, that was basically all I had to. Oh, okay. Just like really small notes. Artith is the guy he calls to be the next, or no, sorry. His name is the Red or Therid or something, and that's who he calls to be the next Artith, which one is interesting because the color of their religion is red, and he's called the Red. And
interesting.
I know. So I don't know. He seems like the archetype, like he should be the leader, and he says no. But also it says that the Red was still well muscled from his days training in the monastery. I was like, what kind of training are they doing in this monastery? I know, where he's like, just built for war, which I think we might have talked about last time of they're not just, reading their Bible over there. They got some
exactly. Well, that's what Serene's dad was telling her, that they do some crazy stuff and they are like a killing machine, it sounds like.
They're all red after.
Yes. That's a good note. I didn't pick that up. I think there probably is like a little wink and a nod there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Anything else?
Nah, I think. Oh, okay. Well, okay. This will move us along though. So Hrathen has this whole ordeal with Dilaf and realize that he's been like kind of circumnavigated and like troubles afoot or whatever. And so then he's going to Elantris to think. And it said that Hrathen often found himself fleeing to the walls of Elantris. I thought that was interesting because I think there's this theme of belonging kind of coming up, and Hrathen doesn't feel like he belongs in the place where it seems like he should be belonging. And so he's going to Elantris because he feels more like at peace and like he fits in there, which I thought was interesting.
I'm glad you said that because I found it odd that Hrathen's place where he felt most comfortable was at Elantris. And I couldn't piece together why he might do that. But now that you say that, I think that's probably exactly why.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't fit in with the temple people. I mean, like when he sees Dilaf's passion, he's like, what? I don't have that. Right.
Yeah.
And like things aren't going his way and all these other things. And he also seems kind of conflicted of like he's using these magic things that he's not supposed to, but he's using them anyway. So yeah. So he might feel kind of similar to the Elantrians, like on the
Right. And Serene's too beautiful and smart and intelligent to fit in with her people. So she's an outsider.
too perfect.
So yeah, I could see that. And then it also seems like Raoden too. He feels isolated because he has to be strong for everyone else. And even though he's created this place, it's like he can't really be among the people.
Yeah.
He has to be separated.
Yeah.
That's very astute. So what did you think of the beggar?
Okay. So the beggar, I mean, it was kind of a pretty long interaction, so I'm pretty sure it's important. My prediction is that, well, my prediction when I read this was that Raoden and Galadin were actually the beggars. They were dressed as beggars to sneak out. So
interesting.
Was interesting. But the beggars share some information with Rathen, which is also interesting. And they say something like they were Elantrians, is that right? And they were farmers.
So this particular beggar used to work as a carpenter inside of Elantris. And I put a question mark there because I was like, why would they need a carpenter there?
Yeah, they have magic. And a farmer. Why do they need farmers? They don't need farmers.
So some of the beggars, so what it sounds like is what happened is that you had the working class, and when Elantris fell, they all got like roped, looped up, captured, and then they got cast into peasant. You're peasant now, and now you have to work on the farm. And this old man, he used to work as a carpenter inside of Elantris, but he was so old and decrepit that he couldn't do anything on the farm. So then he ran away.
Okay.
And there's a group of people who they're like, I can't survive as a peasant, so I'm going to go live even worse than a peasant. I'm going to go be a beggar.
Okay. Right.
This particular one happened to work as a carpenter inside of Elantris.
Okay, interesting. And he's with like a younger guy, right?
Which seems to be his grandson.
Okay.
That's also kind of odd because how could the grandpa be beggar and the grandson not be peasant? Unless the whole family ran away, perhaps.
Right. The grandson wants to take care of his grandpa.
Yeah.
I don't know. It is weird. It's definitely a weird interaction. And the son does say something. So the granddad starts asking Harathan for, food or money or whatever. And then the son says, no, don't ask him. And we learn that the beggars, they all exist there and they have to come out at night and they can't ask any of the noble people for money or food because then word will get to the king and then like their life will be even worse. And so they're not.
So do you remember how they described the beggar?
Let me see. I think they had like a robe on, like they couldn't really see their face. The man was old and obviously had poor sight, for he's squinting up at Harathan in the darkness. Harathan realizes he's never seen a beggar before. They're both clothed beggars. The little boy hobbled around the corner, and the little boy turns Blanche's pale white when he sees Harathan. Does that bring back anything?
Yeah, I was just wondering if they talked more about what he actually looked like, but it seems like they just kind of it seems like you couldn't really see him very well.
Which I think is why I thought it was Raoden and Galadin. I don't think that now, although as far as I know, I haven't learned anything else about these beggars. So
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, the beggar, either he's a total red herring or he's gonna be very important later on.
like, who's it?
Like you said.
King's kids, Kaisley or something.
Oh yeah, Kin's kid. What's his
Yeah,
name? It's not
Aiden.
Ethan. Aiden.
Aiden's gonna come back and save everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Either he's that or he's just a nothing.
No, he's gonna save everybody.
I think it also kind of goes a little bit to show Hrathen's blind spots
Mm-hmm.
because he spent all this time trying to save the town and he didn't even realize that there used to be 4 towns in Arlon and they all collapsed except for this one. And there's all these beggars and they come out at night. And it's very obvious that even though it seems like his motivation is to save the town, he hasn't bothered to learn anything about it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting because also Serene like really does her homework and like knows everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just
Yeah.
kind of an interesting contrast.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is
Yeah.
interesting. The other thing that I noted in this area is that the Elantris wall ran in a perfect circle.
Oh yeah. Looks like it
What do you
wasn't made by humans.
Hmm.
Or Serene made it. So perfect. That's the other option.
Okay, so that's all I had there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I had too. Okay, so now Hrathen has made it to the wall of Elantris. And he's looking at Elantris, and then all of a sudden he hears a voice behind him that says, "It was so much nicer once." And then that's Omin. And then they have a whole conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
There was a lot of good quotes, I thought.
there were so
Omen
many
had. He
good
was
ones.
just, yeah, he was just dishing them out.
Yeah, he was. Okay. Let's just go through all of them. Okay, so
I
Omin
agree.
talks about how it was so much nicer back then, and how the Elantrians did so much good. And he says, "Do you realize that no one in all of Erelon went without food? The Elantrians could turn stone into corn and dirt into steak. Confronted by those memories, I'm left wondering, could devils do that much good in this world? Would they even want to?" Whoa. What do you think of that
Mm-hmm.
one?
Yeah, I thought it was just like really like just like a good point where it's like even if there's someone where it's like you disagree with their methods or their motives, but if you see that their outcome is just so much positive,
Mm-hmm.
can like their core be bad?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And also I think because I think we had talked about before of how like you're there's like different ways people are measuring the goodness of the people in the book. And so like the
Mm-hmm.
way the like politics are set up in the town, it's like, okay, well, how much money you have determines your status and kind of like how good you are type of thing. But in like Raoden's world, we're seeing it's more of like, how are you treating people? And are you like living above your state? Like you're not an animal, you're a person. Like that's kind
Mm-hmm.
of how good you are. And so yeah, so it's kind of that similar thing of like these actions, your actions can determine how good you are, and the Lanterns are doing good actions, so they must be good people.
Yes,
Maybe.
exactly. I think we're on alignment there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so
One
too.
of the lines that I had was so basically Omen goes to Harathan and he's like, how do you not he's like, you talk about hating the lanterns, how do you just not pity them? Like, how do you not feel bad? And he says, it's not so hard once you accustom yourself to it. A man can force himself to hate if he wishes, especially if he convinces himself that it's for a higher good. And then Omen replies, the oppression of the few brings salvation to many. And he kind of had like a smirk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was Yeah, this is just such an interesting interaction because Omen is confronting him with all the things that we're thinking of, like, they're not bad people, but you're still making people hate them, and kind of just like
Mm-hmm.
asking him directly, like, how do you reconcile that? And Harathan knows what he's doing isn't, or like he knows that the Elantrians aren't evil, but he's
Mm-hmm.
justifying it and like logicking his way through by saying it's for a greater good.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think, and I've just thought of this just now, something that's interesting is that how Harathan's trying to convince all the people to follow his religion is using like logic and this and that. And how Omin destroys Harathan's belief is just by asking him a few questions.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going in and saying, you do this, you believe that. He's not being aggressive in any way. He's just asking him questions. And then when Harathan can't answer them properly, the whole thing starts to fall apart.
Yeah. Well, it's because he's kind of also getting at the holes in his logic, right? Of like, I mean, I don't know, I guess you could kind of logic your way around it, but also it's like if they're not bad people, then how can you hate them? Like the very premise of his whole thing is kind of shoddy. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I also thought it was interesting because like you kind of become what you do. And so Baratheon is like hating the Elantrians and he's kind of becoming maybe a hateful person. But actually he's I don't know. I like Baratheon. He's really dynamic.
You can tell he's multifaceted.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it seems like he's trying to do good in his own way.
Yeah.
And he's questioning that.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, especially people who have faith, kind of go through this type of metamorphosis or questioning at some point, I would imagine. Especially if some of the things that they do are not always kind.
Yeah.
And they do it in the name of religion. Like I think about the people that go to the universities and they do their hate speeches, you know. Did they ever do that at Baylor? They probably wouldn't do that at Baylor. Okay. So they did that at my school. And so like these guys would come in. Yeah, these guys would come in. Yes. And they do this at like all major public universities. It's very common. They come in and they have signs and they have blowhorns and they say, you are sinful, you're evil. If you don't go to church, you're going to hell. It's like literally like exactly like Dilaf's hate speech.
That's crazy.
Yes. And it's regular and it's common and it's not like that's not an anomaly by any stretch of the word.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they come in and like they give these hate speeches and their motivation is to convert people. But they're using a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if like those people, they go and they do these really horrible things and say these horrible things about a lot of people they don't know anything about.
Yeah.
Do they think about it after the fact and have to like continually justify their actions? Do they feel no remorse? Because to me, they seem like animals to me.
Yeah.
Like just be like, I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, what are you thinking? How are you getting through that? But obviously they're people. And so they must be having these types of inner dialogue. Just like they probably look at me and they think I'm like an animal, you know?
Yeah.
Just like a slave to my desires or whatever it is.
Right. That's interesting. I mean, I think part of maybe why Harathan is such a good character is that it is kind of based off of reality too. And we kind of all have some sort of experience, like you're saying, with someone who kind of acts like this. Yeah. But I mean, I think that is a real thing of like, you do what you're told and you think it's for the greater good. But I feel like most people, I would hope, would have like some sort of like realization, even if it's much after the fact of like, oh wow, like that was not good. And kind of have to reconcile, forgive, or ask for forgiveness kind of thing.
I think what's that quote? Is it like the road to damnation is paved with good intentions?
Oh, that's a good quote.
It's something like that, where it's like people do a lot of really bad things but they started or they believe they have good intentions. Yeah. But they end up causing a lot of harm.
Yeah. I mean, most people don't do things because they think it's a bad thing. They have some sort of justification of like, well, I'm doing it for this reason.
Yeah, exactly.
You can
Exactly.
kind of, yeah, convince yourself.
And that kind of seems to be where Harathan is.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Speaking of faith things, okay, so the same quote that you just said, I thought this was so interesting.
Hmm.
Um, there seemed to be some like Jesus parallel and just like the structure of what Omen said. Where, like there's
Mm.
this one part, if you remember, from the Bible where it's like Peter or something, and he's like, you know, Jesus, like some people say you're John the Baptist and some say you're Elijah. And then Jesus says, who do you say I am? Then he says, you're the Christ. And then Jesus says something like, blessed are you because it's been revealed to you, kind of thing.
Mm.
And so there's this line where Omen says, your supporters come, he says, what does he say? Oh, Harathan's like, how did you know I'd be up on the wall? And Omen's like, everyone knows you go here. Said some supporters say you're here to plan to how to defeat the vile Elantrians. Then others say you're here because you feel guilty. And then Harathan says, what do you say for why I'm here? No, and
Oh.
it's like this moment where it's like Omen, whatever he says is going to be like the true thing of like he's cutting to the core of what Harathan why
Yeah.
he does.
So
And
what
then
did he say?
so it's a quote you just said that
Oh.
well, actually, Omen says, I say nothing, but I do wonder why you preach hatred of the Elantrians when you yourself simply pity them. Which I was
Mm.
like, yep, that is how Harathan feels. He's
Mm-hmm.
still in that conflict.
Yes. Yes.
I thought that was cool.
So do you want to read another quote and then we close this
Yeah.
chapter up?
Yes, yes. Okay. All right, so we talked about that one. What was the next one? Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of good ones. Okay,
I
so
know.
Harathan says something. Oh, it's there. Let's see. What are they talking about? Um, oh, Harathan's like, I mean, this is the best option. Aren't you going to join? And Omen's like, no, of course not, because I don't hate them. And like, this isn't a good thing and it's not a true thing. And then Harathan says, your religion is docile and unassuming. Mine is vibrant and dynamic. It'll sweep you away like a roaring flood rushing through a stagnant pool. And then Omen said, you act as if truth were something to be influenced by persistence, Harathan. And
Mm.
yeah, and that reminded me of, I think it was like the last set of chapters when we talked about truth, and it's like truth is still truth even if no one believes in it. And so
Mm-hmm.
Omen he's like really tethered to like this objective truth and these good morals and all these other things, and he's like, I can't compromise on these things even if it means that like I'll have to die for it. He's like, I'd rather do that than have to compromise and hate somebody. And Harathan is more like logical and kind of like, well, what's a path of least resistance, or like the less
Mm-hmm.
people, fewest people I need to kill in order to get to the end goal. Like the end's justified.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then one thing that he said is truth is the one thing you can never intimidate.
Oh
So
yeah.
I guess Omen's kind of like, I know I have the truth on my side, so whatever you do, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
Rathan's willing to negotiate his truth all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
then the chapter pretty much ends with Omen cutting Hrathen down to the quick. And he's basically like, you don't have any faith anymore. I can tell how robotic everything is. You have a lot of logic and understanding, but you don't have any faith. And he's like, and I wonder what happened to it. And then
Yeah.
he just drops the mic and he just like stumbles off. And then Hrathen goes into like existential crisis.
Yeah, because that's exactly the problem he's been like dealing with, but he hasn't said it, and Omen said it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Yeah.
that was a good one.
Mm-hmm. So do you think Hrathen's going to stick with his religion to the end?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, let's see. I don't know. I hadn't thought about that because he seems pretty set on like this is what I need to do. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Potentially he'll try, I don't know. I mean, maybe what if he tried a new tactic? Or what if he tried speaking to Serene and like trying to partner together, but like in a good way? I don't know. I don't really see that happening though. I'm not sure what's going to
Mm-hmm.
happen with Tarathan. He's got a lot of
Yeah.
surprises.
Mm-hmm. I know. Like you said, he's an interesting character.
He is. I like him.
Okay, let's go to chapter 22.
Chapter 22.
I think
Okay.
this one will go a little faster,
Okay. Yeah.
maybe.
Okay. So last time we realized that all the chapter names, they're actually like in pairs of or in triplets. And so the 3 chapters all have the same name. And so this is
Yeah.
the first chapter in our Tao series. And Tao means stability, security. So
Oh,
yeah. Okay.
interesting.
Yeah. It's a good one. Okay.
Okay.
So in this chapter, it's Raoden's perspective and quick summary. Um, Raoden and Galadin are going to meet Shaor, who is the leader of the last gang who hasn't like made an alliance with Raoden. So this gang is still
Mm-hmm.
around, and all the people in the gang are like feral animals, and they come attacking. And so Raoden's like, okay, I gotta put an end to this because my people are being hurt, and this is no
Mm-hmm.
good. So they go to meet Shaor, but Shaor is not what they expect. No one has ever seen Shaor until this moment, and they are all surprised. And
Yes.
then after that, they go back to they call it New Elantris, which is a place they've like renovated. And they come when Serene is coming in to do her widow's trial. So you can
Mm-hmm.
see the intersection there.
Yes. So I thought that was a really good summary. So basically, when they go to, well, all right, the first quote that I had. So the reason why the gang members are turning into like beasts is because Raoden and Galadin and their crew, they're basically routing all the newcomers to New Elantris.
Right.
So the last gang standing, they're not getting any resources and they're just devolving more and more and more.
Yeah.
And Raoden, as we know, he's been really struggling with the pain and having this like inner turmoil because he doesn't know that he's going to be able, well, he's kind of assigned himself to or resigned himself to the fact that he is going to succumb to the pain soon. And he's just trying to build this ship up so that New Elantris can go
Sail.
on without him. Yeah. And so he's just thinking, and he's like, maybe the last gang, they found the final secret to stopping the pain by just fully going into it and just losing your mind.
Yeah.
And then Galadin says all they have to do is surrender their humanity.
Whoa. He's like the Omen.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote down that line too. Yeah, I thought that was super interesting of like, I don't know, like they seem to not feel pain, but at what cost? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and also I thought it was interesting because Sarayoden's people say that, oh, this is a secret to not having pain. And then it seems like Shaor's people also seem to have found a secret, but they're two like opposite secrets
Mm-hmm.
where
Yeah.
Shaor's people are, let's see, what did I write? Oh, okay. So Shaor's, there's like 2 options. And so one option is to lose your humanity and just become numb to the pain because you're
Mm-hmm.
resorted yourself to like being like an animal. Or the other option is to embrace your humanity and feel the fullness of life that takes your mind off the pain. I thought was
Mm.
interesting.
Very interesting. I like that. So Raoden and Galadin, they go to try to talk to Shaor, the final gang leader, and then they find out it is this little Elantrian kid with a blonde wig and a pink dress on. And I thought that was a funny imagery.
Yeah. She's reminding me of a cartoon character, but I can't remember who. Did she remind you of anyone?
Uh
Or maybe you know who she's reminding
Maybe
me
like
of?
Angelica from
Oh,
Rugrats.
maybe. I think who
No.
she's reminding me of is, do you remember the series of Unfortunate Events, like the books?
Yes.
And there was, I totally forget her name, but there was like the little girl who Olaf and his new wife or whoever adopt. She was
Oh,
just terrible and demanded all these
yeah.
things. What was her name? It was something outrageous. Okay, but anyways, she reminds me of her, but that's not really helpful because it's an obscure reference and I don't remember her name.
Wasn't it actually like a midget who was actually very old.
Wait, no way it was. What? Carmelita? Was it her?
Carmelita.
Carmelita.
Carmelita Spatz.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes. That is who it reminds me of too.
Yeah. Carmelita Spatz.
She is a cruel, annoying, and unpleasant girl whom Violet Klaus and Sunny Baudelaire first encounter in the academy at the preparatory school.
And she's shown wearing a pink bow and a pink dress. So I think
yes,
pretty good parallel.
Yes, I think so.
Okay, so yeah, so she's the leader. She is Shaor, and everyone's like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting that. That's weird."
And then her name as a Aeon means to transform.
Oh, it means to transform?
Like Shaod, Shaor.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah, because the Aeon is Shao, Shao. Shao.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that. Oh.
Yeah, so the Shaod is what transforms into Elantrins, and then she goes by the name Shaor, which means to transform.
Okay, what's interesting too is that Raoden does mention, so we find out that she's actually Duke Telri's daughter, who had died suddenly when she was young, but there were rumors that actually she had gone to the Shaod and became an Elantrian, but it wasn't confirmed, but now it's confirmed. And Raoden mentions that he forgets what her name was, but it was based on the Aeon Soi, which means order or organization.
Where did you see that? Because I'm looking.
I don't know. Did I write down the page number? Probably like 290 or something. Or do you have the same page numbers?
He didn't say what it meant, I don't think.
I don't think he said what it meant, but he said the Aeon, and so then I looked it up.
Yeah, because I'm in the back like looking it up and I couldn't find it. So it means order.
Yes, it was Aeon Soi, which is Soi. And he says, I only remember that she was the most spoiled, insufferable child I'd ever met, which is just like Carmelita. But yeah, so it means
I agree.
I don't know. She like is good at organizing people, clearly. She made herself a leader. But that's interesting that her name now is Transformation, which is very fitting. Oh, she's transformed from order into disorder.
Oh, yeah. That could be another way of thinking of it.
That could be something.
Very interesting. Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much it there. And then Raoden's basically like, these people use her as a living idol and they've regressed to a primitive way of life and adopted primitive religion. And then Galadin gets bristled because he's like, people call my religion Jesker primitive.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was again, here you have our protagonists judging people possibly prematurely, sometimes to their detriment.
Right.
Making a lot of assumptions about people without having the full facts. And so Galadin is basically fact checking Raoden's prejudices.
Yeah. Okay, I thought that was funny too, because that all happens. I'm like, yeah, Galadin, say it. And then Raoden says, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Perhaps I should have said simplistic. And I was like, that's not any better, Raoden. That's like that's just as offensive to Galadin.
I know. Galadin's like, I can only take you so far. So Galadin's going to keep working on him.
Yeah, well, we'll see. So that's okay. Okay, quick note here. When Galadin leads him to Shaor's headquarters or whatever, but no one really knows where it is, but they go there and they see that there's this bank, and Galadin was like, if it's anywhere, it's going to be in there. It's the best building. It's all these things. And Raoden's like, how do you know this was here? When have you been over here? And I was like, because Galadin's been an Elantrian forever. That's my prediction.
Well, we find out soon.
Oh man. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Okay, so they see Shaor, who is Carmelita, cute little girl in a pink dress, going to demanding food.
Yes.
That's her only goal in life. And so she keeps sending out these men to get her food. And
Yes.
and they really, I guess, I don't know, have pledged allegiance to her and will do it.
Well, maybe that's their purpose.
Oh, that's their purpose. That could be it.
That's their purpose. And it's a very simple one, and they don't have to think about it. And they're just like, all I have to do is get food and give it to this little girl. And then that's it.
Whoa. Okay, okay. So maybe you can feel fulfilled whether you're going for a good purpose or a bad purpose. And Harathan has made himself into a bad purpose. Maybe. I don't know.
Interesting.
Could be something.
Yeah. So they basically just see what's happening and they're like, oh God, we got to get out of here. This is not going to work out for us. So they leave. Did you have any more comments about
Shaor? Or I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Shaor. No, I didn't have any other comments about that.
So the next thing that I had was that Raoden was talking about New Elantris, and he's talking about like their security detail and their perimeter. And he said only 11 streets led into the area. And there was even a small wall, the original purpose of which baffled them, running along about half of the perimeter. Raoden had placed sentries at the tip of every road to watch for approaching marauders. So I thought it was interesting using the number 11 because they're at a Karathi church.
Oh, what does 11 mean? I forget.
So I wonder, because I was like, 11 isn't a biblical number, but 12 is.
Oh.
But if we throw out Judas, now we have 11 disciples.
Oh.
So you have these 11 arteries that are going into the new church. And then you have this wall that's running around there. And I think maybe there's something with that, but I don't know.
That's really interesting. Whoa. Well, when you said the word arteries, it reminded me of our other favorite book, The Fault in Our Stars, when they were in the literal heart of Jesus at their support group meetings. And I was like, this is the heart of Jesus. And all the artery, and you're protected at the heart of Jesus.
Oh, okay. I thought that was going to go in a bad place, but I like that. Because I was thinking of The Fault in Our Stars reading this too, because I'm like, this is to me how a proper love story would work, where you have one person who's very ill and sick and ugly, and then the other person slowly grows to appreciate them because of who they are and doesn't immediately fall in love with them at first sight. To me, this felt like more believable.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm bored with that. I could see that.
Yeah.
I do like, I think like how it's growing.
Yeah. Cause I think that's kind of what I had been hoping with that book, is that's kind of the direction it would go. Like they kind of grow to appreciate each other, Beauty and the Beast or whatever, that type of trope. And then it was like, no, Romeo and Juliet, love at first sight. And I was like, okay. And that really just kind of took me out of.
All right. Yeah, I could get that.
Anyway. Okay. And then the only other thing that I had is that Raoden connects that the reason why Elantris is crumbling is because there's the lack of door, and he's starting to put together the pieces of what happened to Elantris.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He says that the door, which is the magic, has left, which is why the city's crumbling. And he says the city really is a corpse. Its spirit has fled, which I thought was interesting considering his name is Spirit. He is the new spirit coming to revive Elantris.
Oh, yes. He's back. Oh my God.
Look at that.
Yes, I think that's exactly it.
Look at all these little nuggets he sprinkled.
I know. Oh, that's so good. I think that's exactly it. Yeah, good job.
I try. I know. I thought that was cool too. So, but Raoden's a new spirit, but he's a heavy spirit right now. He feels like he's about to die. So that's not very good if he's the one to try it, but he needs to eat his corn. Corn's going to come back and save everybody.
Yeah.
And you know who's going to harvest it? Aiden.
He's coming.
He's gonna be the farmer.
He's just gonna start saying numbers, and he's gonna be tilling the corn, and he's gonna save them all.
Mm-hmm. I
Okay,
bet
so
Aiden is an Aeon for corn.
I think it's one for smart.
Oh.
And I think we went over that before.
I don't think he's an Aeon for corn. He'll make a new one.
Yeah. Maybe he's that smart. And he's like, now it's corn now. I remember seeing that.
I think you're right. That once you said that, I said, oh yeah, I guess I didn't know he did have an Aeon with his name. I thought I was making it up. I thought it was clever.
No, because I remember when I said it the first time, I was like, his name means smart or something. And then you were like, and then that solidified in your mind that he was going to save the whole town.
Oh, it's Adian or something. And Ian means wisdom.
Ian.
Yeah,
Ian.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
That's it. Yeah. Okay, so Aiden's gonna come harvest corn, and then Raoden will be revived, and he's the spirit of Elantris.
And then the town will be healed.
Yes, that's what's gonna happen. And Harathan will be happy. And no one will
What
die.
if this book takes a turn to Pocahontas?
What do you mean?
And they grow all the corn, and that's
they tumble, they roll around in the
Well, when's the last time you saw Pocahontas, the Disney movie?
Like, I haven't seen it since I was like 5, probably.
They come to pillage the village, and then they're like, we have all this corn. And it like it saves everyone, because they're like, we can give you food now.
Oh, okay. To explain what I had said earlier, my only reference to Pocahontas that I had was that preview that was in our VHS version of The Lion King, where they had the Colors of the Wind song, and and she says like, "Come rolling all the riches all around you," and they're like sitting around in the cornfield and stuff. So that's okay.
And honestly, I haven't seen it in a long time, so I'm kind of wondering
if that happens,
how they get out of it too. But how I remember it is that they came in to get all their gold, and they're like, we don't have gold, we have corn. And then they're like, oh, okay, we'll just take all your corn then. And then
they had Thanksgiving.
Different movie. But yeah, and then they kill them all later. That's the final end of Pocahontas, unfortunately.
Oh no.
I'm like looking at the Wikipedia.
Oh, are you finding anything?
Okay. It wasn't about the corn. It seems okay.
It wasn't like their relationship bonded them together?
So the evil guy uses the excuse of gold to get rid of the tribe. And then they're going to go do this big fight. And then Pocahontas is able to just negotiate peace between the two of them.
Oh, wow. Go Pocahontas. Cool.
Yeah. So the corn didn't save them. It seems to me that I was, I can't think of the word. I can't think of the word. The one that's coming to mind is coalescing, but I know that's not a normal word. Conflating?
Yeah. Like you're
conflating. Yeah. I was conflating Thanksgiving with Pocahontas. So, but the corn was a big thing there. So you're right.
I believe it.
Okay, back to where we were. So yes, so Aiden's gonna come in and the corn, and then it's gonna save the town.
Yeah. Oh, Aiden will know how to write all the aeons because he's good with numbers. Next prediction.
I don't think aeons do numbers, but
they're like really specific. And he's good with that because he's good with numbers.
He's meticulous.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
Yeah, meticulous. Okay, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Maybe Aiden's like minion is Dilaf.
Oh. Aiden is the head of the pyramid.
Yeah, what if he's the head of the pyramid and he's been lying in wait? He's Jadith. Once tax day comes, he's gonna like get a new body, Dilaf,
Oh my gosh.
and Dilaf's just preparing the house for him.
Oh my god. Aiden is the TurboTax of the entire nation. And on tax day, he'll
Yep.
finally be done with all of his number crunching. And then he can become jaded.
He's gonna become the head accountant of the whole world. And that's how the book ends.
And
And
all
everyone
in order.
Yeah, and how it ends is that Elantrians have to pay tax now too.
So now it's fair.
Yeah, so now it's fair. So now everyone pays tax to Aiden.
This is
Okay.
actually like his version of Adam Smith's Wealth of Nations or something, of like, here's how it should go, everybody.
Yeah. He's like, here's some bad capitalism, here's some bad religion, and here we go. Accountants. Number 1. I see it. I like it.
Yeah, I think we're on to something.
I think so. Okay. So you ready to move forward?
Yes, like the last part of the chapter.
Yeah. So first we start with Raiden, and then Serene comes in.
Yeah. And Serene comes in on this like carriage, and she's okay, so she comes with a bunch of food, and Raoden is like, that's the worst thing she could have done, because we've made so much progress trying to like get people to not feel their pain, not feel their hunger, and then she's going to come in and give everyone all this free food, and it's going to undo everything we've done. And so he doesn't like that, but he does seem intrigued because he immediately knows it's Serene, and he's like, whoa, that was my wife. That is my wife. And he like appreciates her spunk and how she already has like done all this in just a few weeks and has all these people on her side. So there's that too.
Yeah. So what I thought was really interesting, and this is something you get with perspective books, is that we've heard how Serene describes herself often. And she's like, I'm so tall and lanky and this long flowing hair and everyone hates it, blah, 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 blah. But then you get to hear from Raoden, and he's like, I only saw her through a Sion, he mumbled. I didn't realize she was so beautiful.
Yeah.
And he sees her and she's like, wow, she's so tall and elegant. And it like, she's like strong and like able to command a room. And he just seems really impressed by all these things that Serene describes about herself in a negative way.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like that too. Yeah, and that was pretty much it. And then the only other thing is that Raoden asks one of his minions, one of the people in his gang, to pretend to be Andon, the gang leader number 2, because Serene's like, let me talk to the gang leaders.
Right.
And so Karada goes out, and then Raoden's like, well, Andon has turned into Tan, and he's like busy looking at sculptures, so you go pretend to be. And then Raoden's like, I'm going to pretend to be a servant and kind of be a spy.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so she wants to speak with the leaders, and she specifically says Andon, Karada, and Shaor, which is interesting because we're all kind of like, how did she find out about those names? And also, they're outdated. So gotta refresh the Wikipedia page.
Yep.
Yeah. So
her spies are not doing a good job.
Okay, but yeah, that's where the chapter ends. Anything else?
Nope. Let's try to wrap up chapter 23, and then I think you have to go after this, right? You said?
I think so. Let's finish chapter 23 and see where we're at.
Okay, we'll try to go fast. We say that every chapter.
Good. There's so many good things going on.
I know.
All right, so chapter 23. I have a summary for this one too. And again, the chapter title means stability, security. Okay. So in this chapter, so Serene's coming in to do her widow's trial. And she speaks with Karada and Andon, who we know is actually not Andon, and also Raoden is there. And then she distributes food to Elantris, And by the end, she realizes that Riordan is hiding something from her, and he's not the servant who he says that he is. And so she wants to find out more about him. She's intrigued.
Yes.
All right.
So the first quote that I had, so we ended the previous chapter seeing Riordan's perspective of Serene. Now we get Serene's impression of Riordan.
Oh, okay.
And so how she describes him, he was a taller man, about the same height as Serene in heels. The gray parts of his skin were a little lighter than those on the other Elantrans, though she didn't know if that meant he was pale-skinned before or if he had simply been an Elantris a shorter time than the rest. He had an oval face that might have been handsome before the Shaor destroyed it. He wasn't a servant. He walked with too proud a gait. Serene guessed that even though he was acting a simple messenger, he was one of the trusted minions of an Elantris gang leader.
Yeah.
And then he says, they call me Spirit, he said. A fitting name, Serene thought, for this man who is much of a ghost of what he once must have been.
Whoa.
So it's like Serene's not impressed with how he looks, but she's kind of looking at the ruins and seeing what could have been. And so it's like it seems like she's one of the few people that's looking at Elantris and Riordan and seeing this was a beautiful city. This was a person, you know, they're not that way now, but I can see what they were.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, she's looking beyond the physical things and looking more at like his character and like how he holds himself and is noticing those things are telling her a lot.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Okay, even though she does that though, because I think you're right, she is seeing beyond Elantris at face value. But when she met with Karada and Andon and Riordan, she was like, she's like, let's just get straight to the point. You guys are desperate. I have food. What are we gonna do? And I was like, oh my gosh. That's like, Serene, please have some tactic. Or like, you don't even know these people.
I know. Well, she thinks she knows them.
Thinks she does. Yeah, you're right. She's assumed.
So Serene's going in and she thinks these are evil warlords. And so
Right.
she's going in with this, again, this prejudice, this one maybe a little bit more educated than her other ones, assuming these are monsters, like bad people.
Right.
Because she describes, so she had that whole thing with Riordan where she's like, maybe. And then she describes Moash, who is pretending to be Andon at this point. He was a short man with cautious eyes, his small face shriveled like that of a rodent. His pompous, self-important attitude was about what Serene had expected.
My gosh.
Yeah, so she clearly, so with Riordan, she didn't have any preconceived notions about him. He's not one of the leaders. She doesn't have any advice, so she can just see him as he is.
Oh.
Then they talk about Andon, and then she sees what she believes to see.
Oh,
he's as expected.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So she says he looks like a rat, and then she also addresses them as tyrants. She says, "Hello, tyrants."
Yes, exactly.
I'm here to bribe you.
Yes. So you get what you expect, and they gave her what she wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was interesting too, which is what Serene did when King Iadon thought she was a silly girl. She's like, all right, then I'll be that.
Yes.
So that's interesting. We're kind of getting, now she's like King Iadon, I guess, coming down to the Elantrians. The same thing's happening. Interesting.
Right. So we just keep seeing this theme of these prejudices going to people's detriments. They keep underestimating each other and they keep stumbling over it.
Right. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so they're having their meeting, and Serene wants to give food freely to the Elantrians, but she's worried that these evil tyrants are going to take the food for themselves. So she says, what do I need to give you so that I can just give food freely to the Elantrians? And Karata decides, well, I need all these things, and if you give me those things, then we'll let you come here peacefully. And she demands like normal things like cloth and oil and steel or things like that. And yeah.
So she ends that thought by saying the message was clear. Rule of Elantris depended not on force or wealth, but on controlling basic necessities.
Right. Yeah. So she's kind of reading into why they need these things for control.
And that's because she believes that these people are monsters. Therefore, the reason why they're not asking for gold or other things that she would have expected, she immediately turns it into, oh, it's because they're trying to control basic necessities.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that there are no basic necessities and they're just trying to get like a new shirt.
Yeah. Come on, Serene. Yeah, okay. And I also thought it was so interesting because I okay. Okay, so Serene is assuming so much of these people and she's assuming wrong. And we find out, I think we've found it out already at this point in the chapter, that Ash, her Seon, was the one who was doing all the spying. And Serene's coming in and she's like, oh, these people are terrible. They like attack each other, they're whatever. And I was like, did Ash do a terrible job spying? Because how did he miss what Rayoden was doing in the new Elantris part? And it reminded me of like, I haven't actually read this book, but there's a book called When Helping Hurts. Have you heard of that? And it's like, so it's basically like, people might go on like mission trips or like other service things and they're trying to do all these good, or like Tom's when they're giving away free shoes, but it turns out the community because now all the people who make shoes are like out of business. And so like you need to, if you want to help, you need to do it well and like work with the people there. But Serene was going in like assuming she knew all the things about the people, trying to help, assuming that she knew what they needed. And the people are like, we don't need this. And you're actually doing a lot worse than you're doing good.
Oh, that is a good point. Yeah. Because, well, Serene is giving what they need on a frontal face, what most people would identify what they need.
Yeah.
They're hungry. They need that. People don't have shoes. They need shoes. I give them to you. And then it ends up causing these cascading effects that you're not anticipating.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Because she doesn't really know them.
Right. Right. She just thinks she does.
And so to your point with, what's his name? Ash, the Seon, little fairy guy. So again, I think the reason why he didn't get very good information is because he says, oh, I tried to talk to a couple of the lanterns, but they weren't very chatty. And I just spoke with the guards.
Oh, yeah.
And it's because, again, I think Ash doesn't misjudges the Elantrians.
Yeah.
He thinks they're monsters probably.
Right.
And that they have nothing of importance to say, that they are not cognizant, that I can't, they're not worth my time. So I'm going to spend time with these guards who sit out the front and play cards and are like completely unreliable.
And that'll be our source of information.
Yeah. So you see, even this Seon, who's supposed to be so smart and has lived for so long, he too has his own kind of prejudices, possibly.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. Even though they say that the Seons are so prejudiced, there's a lot of prejudice against the Seons and they're like ignored and whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Ash reminded me of an AI that was like not programmed well, or like its data sets that it's pulling from are all biased. And so it comes out with you're like, here it is, it's the truth. But it's like the sources were wrong, so the answer's wrong.
Yes. I think that's a really good analogy. So before we get back to Serene's perspective, though, we split over to Rayoden, and Galadin's kind of like, she doesn't seem that bad. Why don't we just show her new Elantris, let her know what's up, and she can actually probably help us, like, for real. But Rayoden is like, no. He said, The people of Arleon are tolerant of Elantris because the Elantrins are so pitiful. If they discover we're establishing a civilized society, their fears will surface. A mass of moaning wretches is one thing. A legion of unkillable monstrosities is another.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a good point.
I know. I was so impressed by how strategic all these people are because I feel like if I were Riordan, I would have been like, oh my gosh, it's Serene. I should go tell her who I am. Like, I mean, maybe I wouldn't do that exactly, but I would, like, they're just so good at they're so forward thinking.
Yeah, I think that they have to be. And I think the people who are not so forward thinking, Tellery, Iodine,
Yeah.
people who are in like positions of power and they feel invincible.
Mm-hmm.
Hrathen, even to an extent with Dilaf, they're not
Yeah.
thinking 10 steps ahead because they think that they're already there.
Yeah.
But true. You have Serene, who's a woman who has a lot of prejudice against her, Raoden, who's an Elantrian, who has tons of prejudice against him. They're having to think so far ahead because they're like, okay, how are people going to see me? How are they going to react?
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm. So I think if you were in that position, you would be a little bit more strategic.
Right. It's like out of necessity.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I was impressed. I said that's a good point that I would not have thought of.
Yeah, I thought that was a good point too. And then Raoden, the only important thing there is that he adds a clause to attend all her distributions, which I'm dubious is because he says it's basically because he wants to spy on her, but I think it's because he wants to hang out with her.
Could be.
Okay, so now we're back to Serene's perspective.
Okay. Yeah, back to Serene. And let's see. Okay, so she's there with Iandel. Who is he just one of the like guys in the boys club?
Yep, he's one of the guys in the boys club.
Okay, yeah, Iandel and Shuden are both there. And Serene, and they're all like, oh, that went pretty well. Then Serene has this line where she says, I just hate to deal with people like that. I'm like,
I wrote that down.
Terrible. I'm like, that's the worst. And then Shuden has this awesome response where he's like, well, maybe they're just making the best of a difficult life.
Yep.
I was like, that's so well balanced and compassionate, Shuden. Thank you. Yeah, it was Serene.
Then Serene's like, oh, well, Ash told me what happened and what the guards say. And then Shuden's like, those guards over there. And like, I imagine the camera panning to like just the dopiest, oblivious dum-dums. And then she's kind of like, yeah, maybe they're not like the best resource. She's like, then she says, look at their hollow eyes and apprehensive steps. These are people who live in fear, Shuden. I've seen it before in Fjorden, Hravel, and half a dozen other places. I know what an oppressed people look like. And so she sees these hollow eyes and these apprehensive steps as people who are living in fear of like a tyrant, but they're living in fear that they're going to hurt themselves.
Yeah.
So she's, again, it's like her prejudices, she's just projecting onto these people and she's just seeing what she wants to see.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. You're fitting the data to match your conclusion.
Exactly. And so Shuden's trying to like, maybe not. And she's like,
I am so well traveled.
yeah.
I know what oppression looks like.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Right. Right. And then Shuden says, maybe they aren't oppressive, maybe just all equally oppressed. And so Shuden's just coming in with all the equalizers.
Just being so reasonable.
So reasonable. Okay, but then the conversation ends and this line made me laugh. So Ahan is there, who I guess like kind of came in. So she came in with all these people for like protection, kind of, and also to make them go in because if they go in, then other people want to go in too.
Yeah, so she went in with her boys club.
Yeah, went in with the boys club. Then Ahan, the big guy, our favorite, he
oh, you're breaking up.
Oh, okay. I said, and then Ahan, am I coming through again? Oh, it says my connection is unstable.
Yeah, here.
Am I
you're breaking up for most of it. Yeah, so just start again.
Okay, so she's with the boys club. Have we already said that?
Yep. Start with
Okay.
that.
All right. So then their conversation ends, and then Serene, she's with the boys club, who she brought not really as protection, kind of for that, but mainly because if all like the noble people come, then other people will want to come and say like, oh, well, I can do that too. And that's kind of the whole point, is to like get rid of prejudice against the Elantrians, which is ironic considering her views.
Oh.
But then we get this great line from Ahon that made me laugh. And he's just there and he's like, I hope you appreciate my sacrifice.
You're breaking up.
Man. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah. Now start with the line from Ahon.
Okay. So we got this great line from Ahon, and he says, I hope you appreciate my sacrifice, Serene. The slime is absolutely ruining my cloak. And she's like, I told you to bring cheap clothes. And he said, this is my cheap clothing. And we're like, my gosh. And it reminded me of that story of whoever it was who's on the skiing trip, and she like breaks someone's like spine. And she's like, well,
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Gwenny Bear.
Yeah. And like she injures someone and she's like, well, I want to be compensated too. My skiing trip was ruined.
Yeah, they're like, you say that you hit the man and then you had to get off the slopes. And she's like, yeah, well, I lost half a day of skiing. Sounds like a pretty bad day to me. I was like, true. So that's why don't we turn off our cameras for your internet and see if that helps.
Yeah, I know. I can also try switching rooms.
No, we're almost done.
Yeah. Okay.
So before that thing with Ahon, what I liked is that Spirit sneaks up on Serene and she gets embarrassed.
Oh.
She's like she's passing the food and she thinks she's passing it to Shuden because he has dark skin.
Oh, right.
But then she realizes it's Spirit, and then Serene like, she trips on cobblestone, and then Spirit catches her. Yeah. Which is shocking because apparently he's so weak he can barely move, but he was able to catch her, and we'll just suspend belief.
It was the power of love.
Yeah, exactly. And she says something about his touch seemed oddly tender. She shook her head to dispel such imaginings. More important things demanded her attention. She noticed that the Elantrians were not approaching the distribution thing. And then she also noted he spoke softly, even compassionately. His words were not those of a despotic warlord.
Yeah.
So Serene, I think she's just so desperate for acceptance. And the fact that Raoden as Spirit is being normal around her, she's just gravitating so strongly to it.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Even though she's like, he's clearly one of the warlords, she very easily ascertains that. But her longing to be accepted, she's like, I almost don't even care.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Right, which kind of goes back to that idea of belonging and fitting in, and Serene doesn't fit in Teod or in Erelon, but she's seemingly to fit in this with this Elantrian.
Yeah, and we won't get to it this time, but Raoden, when he's around Serene, he feels the same way about her, because it's like when he's around his old friends, he's like, oh, I don't feel like I fit in with them. But Serene, I can just be myself.
Yeah. So cute. I really like seeing their like relationship starting here.
Yes. And we also see that Serene, a line I put, she found herself almost liking him by the end of the afternoon, though she worried that he was toying with her. For some reason, he seemed very interested in Serene's opinion of him. And then after that, she basically is just like, I need to remember that he's evil and all these other things don't matter. And I think that's Serene's big flaw, is that she has these walls up and it makes her so unapproachable.
Interesting.
And that's why she's so annoying.
Right. Yeah, she's kind of like not human almost.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. Huh. That's interesting thinking about like who's being human in the story because Harathan is kind of ignoring people's humanity in order to hate them and kind of like putting up this wall of hate around himself too.
Mm.
And then Raoden is saying like, okay, guys, we need to embrace our humanity because we're not animals. And then Serene is like, I need to be perfect, which is also not human.
Yeah.
I don't know. There could be something there.
Interesting. I think that's a good theme. And maybe we'll start to see more of that as we progress.
Interesting. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool. Okay, but yeah, so they feed all the Elantrians, and none of the Elantrians eat the food until Raoden takes a bite first.
Mm-hmm.
And then they like see it's okay, and then they eat the food, and then it all goes great.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Oh, and then Serene keeps talking about Spirit, and Ash is like, you need to stop talking about him. He's not important. And Serene's like, I think he's kind of important. Go do some more investigation.
Yeah.
So she sent Ash to go back, and she's like, actually talk to the Elantrans this time, not only the guards, and see if that gives us better information.
I know. Yeah, so the Seons are a little bit more dynamic than we thought too, because they're not just like these all wise, all knowing creatures. They actually make mistakes too and have prejudices.
Yeah, exactly.
So last line here, Ash says the line that we're all thinking, where Serene is saying like, go investigate on Spirit. He's up to something. And then Ash says, don't you think you might be overextending yourself? You've decided to confront the Gjorn, liberate the court women from masculine oppression, save Erelon's economy, and feed Elantris. Perhaps you should just let this man's subterfuge go unexplored. It's only been like 2 weeks. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Take a nap.
Well, the reality is that sure, Serene's doing a lot, but I'm sure Ash is doing a lot of the heavy lifting.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's her assistant, and he's like, please, God, stop. Let me sleep.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right.
Yeah. Because I think while Ash cares for Serene, I think he's having to do pretty much all of the heavy lifting, and Serene just kind of shows up with her clipboard and just checks things off. And then she's like, I did it. I've done it. You know?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's like the unpaid intern who's like,
yeah. Well, in housewife lore, this is a very common trope. And it's so many housewives do it. They don't even do it on purpose. They all run these businesses that they start. And they always have like a party or a something to kind of showcase the business on the show so they can get publicity. And what always happens is that you have some low-level party planner, whoever, who does all of the work for the event. The housewife comes 15 minutes before and she's like, oh, this is wrong. This needs to be like this. It needs to be perfect. Like if I don't do it myself, it's not right. And you're like, I know that you did none of this. I know that all you did was hire someone to do everything. And then you come in the last minute and act like you have done all of it, take all the credit for it. So that was kind of the vibe I was getting.
Oh my gosh, that is the vibe. Serene is the housewife of Elantris. I don't know.
The housewife of Elantris. Yeah.
Housewife of Elantris.
Well, yeah. So we're definitely starting to see a lot of cracks in Serene, where before she seemed just so perfect and couldn't make a mistake. I think we're starting to see her make some missteps.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because feeding the Elantrians was the wrong move.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I kind of like it, getting some more depth.
Yeah. I agree. I think now that we're almost done with the book, she's finally becoming a little bit more tolerable.
But don't speak so soon. We're only about halfway through.
What?
I don't know. I guess not. I guess there's a lot of extra at the end. But we still have
Yeah.
like 240 pages, and we're on page
What?
300.
Oh,
Yeah.
we have 2 more. Yeah, we have 200 more pages.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So that'll probably be 4 more episodes.
Really? You think that's it?
8 more episodes. Oh my God.
We got a lot to go.
Yep. Buckle up. We're just getting
still
started.
here. We've committed.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to publish these podcasts on like 5x speed.
So, can you imagine if you saw a podcast episode and you're like, oh, 30 minutes? Perfect. It's like the chipmunks, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Oh my God. All right. Well, we'll have to pod again soon because chapter 26 I really like with Serene because we get to go back to the ladies fencing. And that's always a good time.
Gosh. Jeez. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we get to do that again. There's a lot of good chapters coming up.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely starting to pick up.
Yeah, we like it.
All right, girly.
All right. It's been fun.
Yeah, love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Bookalicious. If you like this discussion, please rate or subscribe to our channel to help other book lovers find this content as well. If you have any questions or suggestions for future books, we'd love to hear from you at bookalicious.pod@gmail.com. As always, thanks for joining our club.